Okay, so now we need to create a render, right? We need to, present this model pretty nicely. And in order to do that, I am gonna set up a scene. And for that scene, I want one more planter. So I actually have created more planters in the past, and I am gonna show you where you can find those. If you were to search Cult 3D, you can just go over there. And now I'm just gonna go to my designs. And if you wanna support me, this is something that you can do. You can actually just buy any of these stuff, and you're gonna get something in return. So it is not gonna be the donation. You are going to get something in return. So if you wanna support me, if you feel like that I'm doing something nice, you can just buy any of these stuff. For example, this Einstein cubed, and all of these stuff is something that I have created, but in this case we are going to select a planter. And I think this cute elephants planter is going to work, which are free, by the way. All of these planters are free because I feel like the planters should be free so that people can plant more stuff, and that's why they are free. So I am just going to download this, and I'm going to just import it now. Oh, by the way, while it is downloading, you can see that I also have some 3D printable models over here. For example, this thing, and Shikamaru Nara. So you can actually just download these as well if you want to print these stuff. And yeah, let's actually wait for it to download. Okay, so as you can see that I have imported it, and now we're gonna have to create a scene so that we basically can just do a nice looking render. So first thing first, let's actually just parent all this stuff out with the main object so that I can, move it around. What am I saying? Okay, so I'm just going to parent it, and now we can, oh, the tail also. So move it around. Nice. Now what I wanna do, I basically wanna put it over here on the grid so that the feet is going to be the feet can like stay on the grid, and the elephant is, I think, good enough. I can like put it a little bit down. Now we're going to add a plane. This plane is gonna behave like a table, so we can actually just do that. Let me increase the size, and first thing first, let me like create a camera as well, because camera is kind of important to do a render. So I'm just gonna do that, and I'm just going to put the camera kind of around here. And the resolution, let's see. So the resolution could be a little bit squarish. I think a little bit squarish is gonna work fine. Or maybe I am thinking about getting a portrait kind of a look. I think portrait kind of a look is also gonna work fine. So I'm just going to put it at point like 2400. I guess 220 is also gonna work. Yeah, I think it is gonna work. And now I'm just going to put it right over here, and I'm going to push it down. I'm going to rotate it on the x-axis, like on the local x-axis, to get something like this. Also rotate it to actually do get something like this. And now we can do that. Basically, I'm just trying to make sure that it looks okay. Wait, rotate Z. Maybe on the y-axis, I have to move it a little bit, and then rotate it on the Z again. And now we can actually put the elephant over here, and then rotate it like this so that we can actually see the elephant. Let's rotate the plane to something like this, and just put it around right over here. Let me just put it around here. Yeah, I think it is looking nice. Now we can just select the polygons, and we can just, oh, by the way, this is also something, that you can learn. If you were to press G 2 times, you can see that you can move it around to the vertices, but you cannot go past the original spot. So if you were to press C, you can actually just, pass that spot like this. And we're gonna do the same thing with this. So press G 2 times and then C. So you actually get something like this. And I think this is looking okay, but there is one more thing that is still missing. And that one missing thing is the plant. So in order to get the plant, we can actually go to the polygon, which is our own Andrew Price's website. And you can just go to the assets, actually on the model, I think, and then just go to the plant or maybe the free. I think just click on free, and you can see we have these plants over here, and you can use any of these to render your own. I think I am gonna be using, let's see, I think I'm just gonna be using this one. This one is looking pretty nice. So I'm just going to, download this, and I'm gonna have to log in to do. Okay, so after the login, you can see we have the option to download it as a blend file, which we are gonna be doing by the way, and 2K is gonna work fine. So I have imported the file. As you can see now, the best thing about Blender is this is like such a nice thing. You can actually just press Control C, and you can see one copied, one selected object. And now you can just go over here and then just paste it, and you can see we basically have pasted it, and now we're just gonna have to scale it up. Actually, do you know what I have just realized? This scale is actually more accurate to the real world. I have just realized that. So we're gonna have to scale everything else down actually. And in order to do that, I am going to place the 3D cursor to this empty, and then select everything. And then I am just going to deselect both of these objects, so this and this. And now we are going to be using the 3D cursor as a pivot point to basically scale down everything. So I'm just going to go to the 3D cursor as a pivot point, and let's just scale it down. So you can see that I am scaling it down. And let's just scale it down to something like this. So the reason that we have done that is we are going to be using the depth of field, and the bigger the object, the smaller the depth of field is going to be, which we don't want. And in order to fix that, we basically just need to make sure that whatever we are creating is actually similar to the real world scale. Otherwise, it is just not going to work. And it is not like it is kind of clipping. So what I'll do, I'll actually just select the planter over here, and then I'm just going to select the outer part, and then I'm just going to delete it. And the only thing that I want is the soil area, so I'm just going to copy it, and I'm just going to put it over here. And where it is, oh, there it is. We're gonna have to push it up now. So I am actually just creating a soil now, and this is to make sure that it actually looks as natural as it possibly can, as I possibly can make it. So I'm just going to push it like this, and let's just do that. And now it is clipping outside, so we can just push it on the x-axis. And if it is looking in this particular area, it's totally fine. We cannot see this part. So yep, now we can just unhide everything, and now the plant is looking okay. It is actually clipping over here, so let's try and rotate it to actually just put it at medium, and try and rotate it like this. And now it is not clipping, so that's good. And now we can actually just duplicate it and put it over here as well. You just push it up like this, and we can actually delete it because we won't be able to see the soil. So let's just do that. And there is one more thing that is left to do, and that is to put empty over here, and the depth of field is going to be at this particular empty. So I'm just going to select the camera, and then I'm just going to enable the depth of field, and this particular object is going to be a depth of field. You can see the depth of field is looking pretty nice, and we are gonna be, I guess, using it. So the audio got corrupted again, and I have no idea why this is happening, but I'm gonna be doing the commentary now. So as you can see, I am making the elephant blue, and the some of the things that I am gonna change, by the way, is I am actually talking about the eyes, but you already know the process of coloring, in sculpt mode. So I am gonna do all of this stuff behind the scene, and changing all this stuff like the eyes color or the ears of the elephant. These are some of the stuff that I'm going to do later. And in this case, you can see that I have selected the plane, which means that I am probably going to be adding a material. And in order to add the material, I'm going back to the website called polygon.com, our nice website. So if you were to go to the free materials, you can actually see we have so many of these. And I am going to be using this terrazzo texture, orange and pink slab. So the resolution is going to be 2K. I think 2K is going to be fine. And the workflow is going to be metalness because that's what Blender prefers. And let's actually just download it now. Okay, so I am in Blender again and we are going to be using this texture obviously. So first thing first, I am going to be importing the base color. And after connecting it, we are going to be importing, I think, the roughness map. We'll see. So as you can see that I have connected it. And now we are going to duplicate it. And yeah, you can see that I'm actually importing the roughness. So the roughness is obviously going to go into the roughness and we are not going to be using the RGB as the color space. We need to put it at non-color data so that the colors itself does not get involved in the roughness and we basically get the pure color in terms of roughness. Whenever you use black and white images, for example, for roughness, for metalness, for subsurface, for normal, you always make sure that you put the color space to non-color, and that way the map is going to be more accurate basically. So we have the floor, we have both of these like pieces, the giraffe that we have created and the elephant in the background. So we have to put something behind. So in order to put something behind, I am going to be downloading this image, which I am going to not use in the final render. But this is just a trial and error, and I am still going to be downloading it to, figure out if it is going to work or not. And now let's just go back to the Blender and we actually just import it. So file, import. Oh, yes, images is plain. So if you were to go into your edit preferences, go into your add-ons and search for image, and you can see you can actually found this image as plain and just enable it, and then you can just pretty easily go into your import and images as plain, and then just select the image wherever you have downloaded it. So I'm just gonna do that, and now all I'm gonna do is I am just going to place this image at the right place. Now, as I've told you that I'm not gonna be using this image for the final render, so I am just gonna be skipping this part because I am gonna be just moving around this image a bit too much, and you don't really need to see me doing that because I've told you we are not gonna be using this image, so it just does not make sense for me to show you all the movement that I've done with the image. Okay, so as you can see that I basically have just removed the image now and I'm using the magic texture. The only thing that I'm changing right now is the scale setting, and I have also used the hue saturation node to decrease the saturation to 0.1 as you can see. And after removing the image from the plane, and now I'm just using the magic texture. So that's pretty much what I've done behind the scene. Just added two of these nodes and removed the image texture. These are the only two things that I've done. And I'm still using the same plane, by the way. And now we're just gonna have to do the lighting. And as you can see, in order to do the lighting, I have removed the HDRI strength. So now we can basically just concentrate on the lighting without having to worry about HDRI getting involved in the lighting as well. So first thing first, we are gonna be using the 3-point light setup. The first light we are gonna be using is, I think, going to be the rim light. The rim light is a light that actually separates out your object from the background, and I am gonna be showing you that. So don't you worry. I remember like pointing it out, so you can see that. Yeah, here it is. I am doing so. The rim light is basically going to separate out your main object from the background, and that's what's happening right now. So the rim light basically goes behind the object like I am doing right now, so that the edges of the objects could be lightened up like we have right now in the image in the render right now. So that's what the rim light does. The second light is going to be the key light, I think, or maybe the rim, or maybe the fill light. So either two of these lights. But right now I am just playing around with the settings for the rim light, and you can see the power is at, I think 20 is gonna work. I don't actually remember the setting that I've changed, but 20 is working in this case. So I am just gonna stick with the 20. And now I have duplicated the light, and this light is going to be the key light, I think. And right now you can see this image is pretty dark. So we need to add another light to brighten this up. And that another light is going to be the fill light. I think this is the fill light. That's the reason why I am pushing it way behind, because fill light is supposed to be a pretty soft light, and in order to make it soft you can actually just push it back and increase its size, as you can see I am doing. And you also need to increase the power, by the way, in order to use this. So that's basically what I am doing, and the purpose of the fill light is to remove all the darker areas, and that's what's happening right now. So right now you can see we are getting the shadow, and in order to increase the intensity of the shadow, you can actually decrease the strength of the fill light, or you can push it back a little bit as well. As you can see, the shadow is becoming stronger as we are pushing the fill light back. So these are some of the things that you can do. Also, the color of the giraffe is a little bit darker. I am going to be changing it behind the scene. I've already talked about it pretty often, but the next light we are going to be using is going to be the main key light. So this is the light that is going to be the main light source, and even though it is going to be the main key light, like the main light source, we are not really going to be relying on it as much. I am using this as a fill light as well because I really liked how the rim light is looking. And as you can see that I'm also decreasing the strength of this light so that this light does not actually affect the scene as much, because right now the way fill light is, not the fill light but the rim light is behaving, I really am liking like the edges of those brighter areas. So I am just gonna stick with this lighting setup. And yeah, the one thing that I have actually realized is the facing of the giraffe is not really looking that nice. So I am going to be rotating it and making it face towards the camera. And this way it is just gonna look better. So yeah, you can see that the image have started to look so much more better. And that's what I've done. It is just a trial and error thing. I am making this project for the first time, and yeah, just to do trial and error stuff, experiment on your own, and you're gonna be able to just problem solve everything. 3D is more about problem solving actually. So I figured out that rotating the giraffe is gonna make the image look better. So I just did that, and yeah, it is actually looking better. And now I am gonna be changing the color and making it a bit brighter. And as you can see, it actually have already started looking pretty nice. We can start making the brown a little bit brighter as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually making the patches a little bit brighter as well. I have also added the black in the elephant eye, and now I'm just gonna be changing the color of the behind, like the background plane, so that this image actually start to look a little bit better. Now the idea is I wanted to make the plane a little bit bluish, and that is the reason that I'm actually gonna be changing some of the colors with the mix RGB, not the mix RGB, what am I saying? The RGB curves. And this is pretty much what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make sure that the colors on the background plane actually makes sense. So this is basically what the idea is right now, and I'm just trying to change the hues. I'm just trying to change the value of the image, not the image, but the background plane. I don't know why I'm keep on saying image, but the background plane, so that it basically just makes sense. After figuring out the color, as you can see that I am actually just figuring out whether this color is going to work or not, I am going to be adding the Suzanne on the floor because I felt like that the floor is kind of empty still. So I wanted to just add a Suzanne, that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to rotate it so that it can lie on the floor. And I'm going to make it glass kind of material so that it basically just looks nice. And you can see that I'm rotating it, and this part of the area was kind of empty, so I have just added the Suzanne, and now I'm just going to make it reddish kind of a glass kind of a material. So as you can see, we have the orange right now, so transmission is going to be at maximum, obviously, because we wanted to make it look like a glass. And now we can actually just rotate it. If you really wanted to, you can, I mean, if you are like copying this stuff, you can just increase or decrease the roughness, totally up to you. And this is actually pretty much it. I am about to end the video, and this is pretty much how this render is gonna be. And yeah, this is just me gonna say bye bye now because we are done. And if you have learned something from this video, then like, share, and subscribe. And I'm just gonna see you in the future.